guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's been a while. Oh, yeah, say hi. Say hi to the video. A sugar puppy. I love you, sugar baby. Okay, welcome back to my channel. I know I'm wearing the same outfit from my last video, but I don't care. Okay, today we're talking about the next topic on things I can't control, and you can control what you talk about. I think a lot of people underestimate the way the words that you say impact your body and your mind. And you know, words can be your greatest weapon or your greatest tool. You just kind of have to see like what feels like what. You know, when you speak words to people or even yourself, whether they're like, you know, looking at the context of them, if it's something that is degrading, negative, passive aggressive, or even just like kind of devaluing an experience for you or devaluing yourself, or you know, and some things, the tricky thing with words is sometimes you don't realize it's doing that, but that's where bringing awareness into like your thoughts and what's coming out of your mouth is important, and realizing the intention behind the words and if it's necessary and is it helping anyone, is it bringing life to anything. And that is like a huge thing, because if it's not, it actually does alter your attitude and mood, even if it's coming from you. How you react to things, and it goes very hand in hand with how you react. Talking is a reaction of observation of events and actions and other people's words. Looking at how you speak is a huge thing. Like saying things to people is a huge influence. And a lot of people say, you know, actions are louder than words, but words can still be very impactful and hurtful. That one of my gifts here is communication, and just being able to like really communicate with people and have such a flow with my mouth. I think that, you know, I've seen how heavily words impact people over a lifetime, and you have such a wonderful, magical tool to help people and help yourself. So I think speaking life into things is very important. So my next thing, I don't know what percentage, please stop, don't yell at me. I don't know what percentage of our body is water, but I know that most of our body is water. I just don't remember numbers off the top of my head. It's not one of my gifts. So, but with that being said, what I can say that I do know is our body's being made up mostly of water. When they put water under a microscope, it takes the shape of a structure, and a lot of these structures have a similar look to snowflakes. And they've actually proven that depending on like what you eat, what you see, energies you feel, music you hear, and especially things that you talk about, your water crystals in your body actually change color and shape. So just with that being said, when words that didn't speak life into things and were meant to be harmful, or, you know, not even like harmful, but just maybe like lower vibrational conversations and words and music about violence and other things, it actually affects your water crystals. And there's actually pictures in a book written and videos on how it actually will change under a microscope, and it'll look real dark and it'll look mutated and everything. You actually speak life into things, and like you have positive conversations, and you know, you talk to people with respect and kindness. Your crystals will turn these bright colors, like all sorts of colors. I won't get into the coding and everything, but just to build off of this fun fact, and this is a huge reason why I try to watch, you know, how I talk and what I talk about. And of course you need your moments to vent, and you're human, so no one can be on and perfect 100% of the time, but just being conscious, you know, a lot of the time with like, okay, I don't want to talk about this. This doesn't feel good for my aura. It doesn't feel good for my body. It's really important to do so. So just having that scientific evidence and proof that like, you know, your surroundings and like the things you talk about change your aura and like the contents within your body, like the shapes and colors. I just think that is really wild. And I think that it's really important to, you know, pay attention to what you say, because even if like that was a non-existent fact, it's just good to talk to people nicely, and it's good to talk to yourself nicely, because when you treat yourself with that respect and other people, you will feel respected and loved by yourself and other people. And honestly, the more that I've been on this journey with this specific thing, I've realized that people just like, you know, there's always an exception to the rule, but people just can't like talk to me a certain way anymore. Like it's not even allowed. Like, I don't even attract that as much as I used to when I used to talk a certain way. So I think just paying attention to that will bring such good fortunes to you, and like good experiences with people. And even when there's a bad experience or something that you have to confront, or like it's a negative situation or you have to assert your boundaries, I think like with the intention of it being out of self-love and you knowing how to talk to people, it will bring a sense of like reassurance to yourself, self-love, boundaries, and you're doing it with the intention of love. So you're actually maintaining a state of your aura and frequency and not letting someone else ruin it with their words and their energy. If that makes sense. I know there's a lot. It's like literally something that I do think about every day. Like,
they scooted together.
Yeah, you never know someone else's experience in life or what they're dealing with, or like if they're talking about something, you don't really know the context sometimes, or you don't really know what happened before that or after that or why. So it's like, it's really important to make sure you choose your words wisely and do it from a place of wisdom and like empathy and consideration. And also just like a huge part of how you speak is like listening. And I think that, you know, I've always, me just being such a talker and a communicator, sometimes I forget this a little bit, just a fatal flaw of mine. Like I sometimes do forget to like really like hear what someone's saying. And it's just it's a human trait I think we all have and we can all work on, because sometimes if you just, and no matter how hard you listen, I think sometimes it's really easy to misinterpret things. That's why you should always just handle situations with a lot of communication and care. Sometimes not everything requires a response. Like sometimes just like letting it go saves your energy, saves you a situation. Getting into the art and the science behind how you speak is actually incredibly good for your health on every level, like your mind, your body, your soul. Because if you've ever been in a conversation with someone, or even yourself, like in here, where after you feel like really tense. So with that being said, I have to keep deleting apps to have storage, and it's insane. So like, again, I have to delete another app. After you have a conversation or an experience with someone where you were talking a lot and you feel kind of drained and like sick and like, oh my God, you feel super tense and stressed out. Like that is a prime example. Like sometimes no one has to touch you or do anything. Like it's just the speech, the communication, talking to someone or hearing something. And when you're talking, someone's hearing something. So it goes both ways. And it's like, when you do that, you have to realize that there's some things that make people feel really ill, or like it can make you feel ill. Sometimes like being unaware of like how your speech and what things you say affect people, that includes yourself. Like there's been plenty of times where I was completely unaware of how what I was talking about was affecting my own body. And I didn't know why. After I just felt so tense, I felt angry and I felt stiff, and it's like, you don't know why, but then like when I really think about it like later, or sometimes just having that pattern happen enough to where you like one day it clicks, you're just like, oh, like every time I talk about this I just don't feel good, you know? It's good to like understand what does that and like pick and choose times and places if it's necessary to talk about. Having a safe environment and having someone who consents to like listening and having that conversation is really important, because you know, like words, they do have energy and they do have force to them, and it's really important to be careful and just be mindful when you speak to others, and be mindful about what you take in from other people, and communicate when something isn't sitting well with you, and communicate when you need something out that isn't. This is like something I find interesting with all these things that I'm having a series about. If you knew how greatly something that you do every day, everything that you do, if you knew how impactful on your whole life and other people's whole life it was, would you think more carefully, and would you be more authentic, and would you be more loving to yourself and others? And it's like, if you knew how much of an impact that you make on yourself and other people in the world, if you can actually see it, how would your decisions be different? That's just like how it is with talking. And for me, no matter what situation I'm in, I always like to give knowledge and hope and authenticity, because it's just, you know, I think that every little interaction and movement, I do believe full force in the butterfly effect. And I think that our words are a really prime example of that, because words come from thoughts, and words do manifests into reality. It does. Thoughts and words, they're a big deal. And there's even like cultures around the world that chant. They say things over and over again. They have ceremonies, like marriages, they have ceremonies where they talk to each other and they speak certain words and stuff. And you know, I think that words, people underestimate the power of words and speaking them and being eloquent. I think that a lot of people don't pay attention to like the way that they use words and the manner that they speak them and everything. And I think that our world could use a lot more education on eloquence and, you know, the art of speaking to one another. And the last thing really is, and I think I've said this in another video, just to be like clear, no matter who someone is to you or how bad of an experience you've had, learning to be able to heal so you can speak to everyone with such love and respect that it's not over the top, but it's strong and sturdy and consistent. I think that, you know, you never know what someone else is going through. Listening to my video today, that is why what I can control, or that is why what you say and what you talk about is really important, and how you can, you know, take control of it and what to keep in mind when you're on this journey of bettering your speech, your talk, your conversations, and your friendships and everything. Yeah, so thank you guys for watching. Sorry I've been absent for a minute. I've had like a birth month. May was my birth month.